Practitioner Libros Oshoma joins me now to help understand the position of the law on this matter. Thanks for joining us on the program. The Supreme Court judgment of January 2012 that removed 5 governors, including Timipre Sylva of Bayelsa State, comes to mind on this matter. So the Apex Court had ruled in favor of INEC's position that the 4-year tenure of the governors commenced on May 29, 2007, when they were first sworn in. And the fact that their elections were nullified did not render the oaths they took at that time null and void. How much of a precedent is this for the current Bayelsa situation?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think this is a court of first instance, and so for a matter like this, there are so many issues to be considered. First and foremost, on appeal, I know the issue of local standing will also be considered as provided for in Section 29, subsection 5 of the Electoral Act. That will be considered also. The issue of the Section 180 and 182 that you cited, all of these would, 181, sorry, will be called into question at the Court of Appeal. But I would expect that the Court of Appeal, in deciding this matter, should not just look at the issue of local standing, but should also give the country the opportunity of having a peep into the mind of the court as regards, this oath of office, tenure, and oath of allegiance, tenure, and all of those things. So, because we say the law is what the court says it is. So, like you asked, the question now would be, you took oath of office in 2007, and that election was nullified sometimes in January 2008. And subsequently, another election was conducted. And so, ordinarily, for the layman, you will say that oath of office was nullified the moment that election was nullified. And so, that election also cannot begin to count. But mind you, the Constitution was subsequently amended that to correct that defect, that in a situation where the person, the holder of that office, wins a re-election, initial tenure that he occupied the office would be counted in calculating the time he has occupied that office. That was why I think was it Ladoja. So there was one other governor, I think Cross River State, Lee Emoke had similar problems, and so that was why Lee Emoke's tenure ended with when he's I think in 2011 or so, 2015. Yes, 2015, because some of them had argued that the oath of office that they took subsequently, should start to count, and that the court should discountenance the initial oath of office that they took. But the Constitution was amended, and that initial oath of office that they took was also added subsequently in counting the number of years, so that they don't stay beyond the prescribed number of years, which is 4 years as prescribed by the Constitution. But the quagmire here now is that a situation where somebody had been in that office and was subsequently ousted by the Supreme Court in 2012, and then now you're saying that we need an interpretation into it. It is not for me to sit down here and say that this is the way the court will go on.
I hear you. The way it is now, Mr. Sylva has already spent close to 5 years in office in his first term. If he gets another 4 years, the judge here is saying that he would have done more than the 8 years required by the Constitution. But what happens if the APC candidate is ultimately disqualified? Will there still be room under law for the party to provide a replacement?
I think the APC in this election has a lot in their hands coming. If the APC's candidates eventually disqualify, I think, I doubt, because the time for substitution of candidate has passed. And also, I think this is not, I also am aware that they have another matter, in court on the qualification of Sylva's running mate. How that will also pan out, we'll wait to see. If eventually the APC is disqualified by the court, the time for substitution of candidates, had long passed, and so there would be no room for substitution. So what happened previously might just happen that the APC does not have a candidate in Bayelsa. So that's basically what we are looking. But unfortunately, like I said, the issue of a local standing might also come up as because Section 29(5) talks about candidates who participated in the primaries. I don't know if the claimant in this matter participated in the primaries. If he didn't, then that will be a strong issue for them to canvass. And then there are also questions of practice direction, and coupled with the fact that when was the suit filed? If the suit was filed within time, because the law also prescribed a time for filing a pre-election matter, I think 14 days after the list of INEC had released the list. And I know that this list was released sometimes in May or so, and then the action was filed around June. And all of these are things that the court subsequently consider. But,
interesting days.
But the other case,
yes.
Quickly, the other case that I also am aware that they have, which borders on the fact that on non-qualification of the running mates of Sylva, and that's what the court is here to take a bite on that, and so we see how that would pan out in the coming days.
Interesting days ahead of the APC. The party lost the election the last time in court. Time will tell whether the lightning will be striking a second time in the same place. Libros Oshoma, thank you for talking to us.
My pleasure.